life is a mess and you're totally stressed out, just call Trent. Just call Trent. When your wife is cold as ice and you need some advice, just call Trent. Just call Trent. He'll shoot it straight and he won't say no. He'll just give you that advice and say, well, there you go.
Oh, boy. Hello, welcome to the third episode of There You Go with Trent Mabry. I, of course, am your host, Trent Mabry. Thanks for tuning in. How are you guys doing? I'm doing well. I'm having some mint tea that I've made fresh, with fresh mint from my... it's not really a garden. It's just pots on my back patio. But I am I'm growing some mint. I'm growing some banana peppers, some green peppers. I think it's a good time to start growing your own food. I don't know if you guys have watched the news at all, but things are not looking good. Basically, we're fucked, you know? So grow your own food, I would suggest. Start growing your own food, stock up on water. I've seen a lot of people saying, well, boy, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. Well, I got news for you. Next year is going to be worse. It's only going to get worse and worse and worse. So get used to it. The only thing we can do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the car crash. Because it's over, folks. It's done. We're done. We had a good run. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. We've got a lot of reviews and ratings. I'm not surprised. I'm a genius, but I'm very happy. We've got 10 reviews, and we got one new. We got 10 ratings. And one new written review. We're still at 5 stars with 10 reviews, all 5-star reviews. And as always, if you write a review, I will read it on the air. So here we go. Here's the newest review. Subject line says, he'll tackle any subject. Only 2 episodes in, and I can already tell he'll give advice on absolutely anything. I can honestly say I've never even heard of anyone that's into their stepmom wearing diapers. Yeah, you and me both, buddy. But Trent didn't shame or judge and actually gave solid advice. Episode 2 was certainly a weird one, but it intrigued me enough to see what else people write in about. Well, I appreciate that, and I think you'll be happy with this. Well, I hope you'll be happy with this new topic we've got today. It's our first serious topic. It's our first serious question. Not to say that the guy who was attracted to his stepmom and diapers was making a joke, but good God, I hope he was. It's a comedy-related question. So I hope people find that interesting. And as we'll get into it in a second, but as always, if you need advice, you can email me at advicefromtrent@gmail.com. That's advicefromtrent@gmail.com. So let's get into it. Let's pull it up on the old iPhone 7 Plus. We got to go to the other email account. You know, I've seen people, other podcasts, they print out their topics and their questions on printer paper. And I've thought about doing that, but it seems like too much work. Also, this is a little off topic, but printers, I'm convinced there's a conspiracy with the printer. They make them last maybe I've never had a printer last more than a month. It's a big conspiracy to get more money. It's like wisdom teeth. I think we've all been tricked by dentists. It's all big dental to trick you into not need. They think you don't need your wisdom teeth. I still have mine, and they're doing fine. Anyway, here it is. Sorry, my Wi-Fi has been acting up. The question was the subject line. This is from Blake. The email reads, how do you network in comedy when you have terrible social skills? Thank you. Well, Blake, I don't know if you're remarking on my social skills and how I network in comedy, or if you're saying you have terrible social skills. I guess it all depends on the inflection on which I read it. It could be like, Trent, how do you network in comedy when you have terrible social skills? Or how do you network in comedy when you have terrible social skills? You know, Blake, it's a good question. I'll say this. I started comedy when I was 17. And from the very first time I walked on stage, I was hilarious and everybody loved me. I never had any trouble fitting in. People said I was a genius from the moment I got off stage. People were like, wow, I'm blown away. But that's not the case for everybody. I realize that. No, honestly, I never really thought about networking in comedy. Especially not when I was starting out, but I would say maybe a couple of years ago I realized that you have to do that. I would suggest, Blake, to when you're the first few years, I would just focus on being funny. Focus on writing, trying to find your voice. I didn't find my voice until about one or 2 years ago, I feel like. When I first started, I thought I was very funny. I thought I had it all figured out. And then I look back on those sets now, and I realize that it was complete dog shit. And now I look, when I do stand-up, I feel like I'm doing the type of comedy I want to do. But maybe in 5 years, I'll look back on this time and realize this was complete dog shit. But most likely, I'll look back and just feel nostalgic for a time when stand-up comedy existed. And not all the clubs had closed, and people were still capable of experiencing joy. No, but seriously, Blake, I would suggest just focus on being funny. If you're funny, the other comics will talk to you. Especially if you're a straight white male or an attractive lady. If you're not funny, well, you're fucked. I don't know why you're doing stand-up. But no, if you're not funny, I would suggest finding the funniest guy or girl in the room and kissing their ass and riding their coattails. And, you know, maybe they'll bring you on the road. But you're socially awkward, so maybe that's not a good idea. But let's be honest, every comedian is socially awkward. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. There are a few exceptions. But most comedians are weirdos who can't function in a normal society. So just realize everybody's socially awkward. Nobody really knows what the fuck they're doing. That would be my real advice, Blake, is don't listen to anybody's advice when it comes to comedy. I know that negates the entire purpose of this whole podcast where I give people advice. But specifically, Jesus Christ, specifically for comedy, I would say don't listen to anybody because nobody really knows what the fuck they're doing. Everybody's path is different. I mean, sure, listen to the comedians you like, the careers you want to emulate. But take everybody's advice with a grain of salt because everybody's path is different. It's like the great Casey Musgrave says, Blake, just follow your arrow. You'll figure it out. Don't get too in your head about trying to network. It'll come to you. So there you go. That would be my advice. Don't listen to anything and focus on being funny. I hope that helps. This episode is a little shorter than usual, so I'm going to fill some time. Nobody wrote in about this, but I've seen a lot of debate about masks. Well, not really debate. People are just yelling at each other. Here's what I'll say. If the store's policy is to wear a mask, just wear a mask. Don't get mad. If you're not wearing a mask, don't get mad. Start throwing fucking Zagnut bars on the floor at the grocery store because the guy making minimum wage told you had to wear one. It's a store policy. Just don't be a douchebag. But on the other hand, if you're wearing a mask and you see somebody else that's not wearing a mask, just walk away. Don't be annoying. It's like when I was a young boy, fresh from the DARE program, I would see people smoking cigarettes on the sidewalk as I was walking, and as I would walk by, I would cough. And looking back now, I realize that was annoying. And you're not going to change anybody's mind. You're not going to. Some annoying kid coughing isn't going to stop somebody from smoking cigarettes. And some annoying white woman telling another annoying white woman to wear a mask isn't going to make them wear a mask. So just everybody mind their own business. A lot of people don't understand why people are refusing to wear masks. I think it's a number of reasons. The main reason, obviously, is Trump telling people not to wear a mask. The second reason kind of ties into the first. A lot of people are complete morons. I would say most people are idiots. And sure, Dr. Fauci lying for a month about the effectiveness of wearing a mask probably didn't help. But we're not allowed to say that. Fauci is our Lord and Savior now, apparently. The third reason, I feel like, is liberals, of which I consider myself to be, we got to stop being the overprotective parents about everything. Because think about back on your childhood. Think about all your friends. One of them, at least one of them had overprotective parents. And that person that had overprotective parents is the fucking craziest person you know. And why is that? Well, because they want to rebel. Because it's annoying to have somebody tell you, oh, you can't do this, you can't say that, you got to do this, you got to wear that. It just drives people to rebel and become alcoholics and drug addicts. Even if it is for their own health, nobody likes to be told what to do. Especially not when somebody's like, "Oh, I hope you're not wearing a mask. I hope you enjoy burying your grandmother." Well, that's not going to convince anybody to put a mask on. It's just going to drive them further into their own bubble because you're being a douchebag about it. So just suggest, hey, maybe it's a good idea to wear a mask. But don't demand people wear a mask. It's the you're having the exact opposite effect of what you want to do. Nobody likes to be yelled at. Unless you're that guy that wrote in last week about your stepmom wearing diapers. I assume you're into some sort of dominatrix type situation. So we all just got to relax and mind our own business. Breathing in the guy's secondhand smoke while you're walking down the sidewalk for 2 seconds isn't going to give you cancer. And walking past a guy not wearing a mask for 2 seconds probably isn't going to give you the coronavirus. And this is coming from me, Trent Mabry, a medical expert. So I would suggest that we all just relax. I think we all just need to take a deep breath, hold it in for 10 seconds, and then exhale and start coughing up blood, because we all have the virus. There's no escaping it. So that's it. That's the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember to rate and review and subscribe. If you write a review, I will read it on the air. And remember, if you need advice, please email me at advicefromtrent@gmail.com. That's advicefromtrent@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Trent Mabry and on Instagram, Trent_Mabry. And you can follow the podcast on Twitter at ThereYouGoPod and on Instagram at ThereYouGoPodcast. And don't forget to like our Facebook page. It's my Facebook page. This is a one-man operation, baby, if you couldn't tell. But you can like the Facebook page. Just search There You Go with Trent Mabry. It should come up. But also fuck Facebook. I just saw Zuckerberg was trying to force some Hawaiian people off their land so he could build a mansion. So fuck Facebook. Delete it. Don't like it. But also do like it, because I think it helps. So yeah, that's it. I feel like I was in a real mood during this episode. I'm alright. Don't worry about me. Sure, the world sucks. But I'll still be here next week. I'll see you next Friday. I hope you tune in. Thank you. Bye-bye.